Alright guys, welcome back to the Mid-Level Media channel, your hub for everything physical media and entertainment. I am Ken. Today guys, we are here to close out this Quentin Tarantino quadrilogy on 4K, and that is with my review of Kill Bill Volume 2 on 4K. This nice 4K Steelbook that is, I will echo the same as I did my last two reviews, guys. This is a Lionsgate limited exclusive Steelbook that is only available on their website. I will link that down below. It's going for a price point of $39.99. Now, it is also available on Amazon if you want a standard version with a slipcover. That is $30.09 to get that version. So it's a full $10 cheaper if you want to go that route. And of course, guys, look, with a lot of these studio titles, I'm going to throw this out there because, look, guys, we'll get into it a little bit more in depth. But when it comes to Kill Bill and Kill Bill Volume 2, the picture quality isn't as mind-blowing as I think people were expecting and wanted it to be. So maybe you want to wait for a price drop. I do think that with these, as far as the slipcovers are concerned, probably not the Steelbooks, you will see a significant price drop, probably down to $25, probably down to $20. You will see that eventually. So I do want to throw that out there. But look, guys, before we get into it, we're gonna talk about this movie. I like to talk about the movies here on this channel, guys, because I just watched this movie, so I want to talk about it, and I already talked about Kill Bill Volume 1, my thoughts on that. That is documented on the channel. I want to talk about Kill Bill Volume 2, then we're going to get into the picture quality, the audio, special features. I'll do a unboxing of this Steelbook as well. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment down below, guys, what's your thoughts on Kill Bill Volume 2? Are you the rare breed that actually enjoys Kill Bill Volume 2 better than the first one? Because I haven't met very many of you. So let me know if you're a bigger fan of the second volume down below in the comments section. And then, let me know if you plan on getting this Steelbook or this 4K or the 4K slipcover, or if you plan on getting it at all. Maybe you don't. Let me know that. All right, so let's go ahead and get into talking about this movie. This is written and directed by Quentin Tarantino. Of course, guys, this is the sequel, I would say, / prequel to Kill Bill Volume 1. Of course, guys, I realize if you didn't watch my first review, my first volume, I realized that Quentin, he made Kill Bill Volume 1 and Volume 2 together, and he meant it to be one movie, but it was too long, and the studio wanted him to split it up. I know the whole story, but this is a sequel to Kill Bill Volume 1, and I do not consider these films one movie. These are two separate movies to me. So Quentin Tarantino wrote and directed this film, starring Uma Thurman, David Carradine, who is in the first one. More so, a voice is in the first one, but he plays a more prominent role as Bill in this movie. Then you got Michael Madsen in this film that plays a more prominent role, and Daryl Hannah, who has a role in the first one, but she plays a bigger role in this one as well. You also got Gordon Liu, who plays Pai Mei, who honestly might be the standout of this movie for me. I love all the stuff with Pai Mei, the whole training sequence and all that stuff. I think that that's probably, for me, the best part of this movie. But Kill Bill Volume 2, it's a rough one for me, especially rewatching it now, because I start to see this film for what it is. And I don't know how you watch Kill Bill Volume 1 and then you watch Volume 2 and you think to yourself, these would work perfectly together, because they're so different tonally, stylistically, just the way that story-wise, what Tarantino does in this one versus the first one. Everything that happens in Volume 1 is so extremely satisfying. The conclusion to every battle is satisfying. It's all about being big and epic and grand. This one is more or less Quentin Tarantino being like, you know what, you want a big, grand, satisfying conclusion to the story? I'm not going to give it to you. He sets up all this stuff. He sets up all these expectations with the first film. And in this film, he does the good old subversion of expectations, where he does not give you the things that you want in the conclusion to this movie. So I remember watching this, for the first time back in the day, and it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth by the time I get to the end of it, because I'm like, really? That's it? And again, I'm going to try to keep this as spoiler light as possible, but this is a movie that's over 20 years old. But I'm always like, really? That's the conclusion? That's what we're going with here? There's no big epic moment conclusion at the end. And that's not just the end, but it's all throughout the film. When the fight with Daryl Hannah, Michael Madsen, what happens with him. It's just a bunch of stuff where, they put the bride in these situations that she has to overcome, and that part is good. But then you get to the actual like fights or the non-fights in certain instances, and you're just left wanting more. And I feel like that's on purpose. That's what Quentin Tarantino did very deliberately with this film. The pacing in this one is also a lot slower. They really like want to flesh out the backstory between the bride and Bill in this one. They want to add more depth. They want to give more emotional weight to the story that they're telling by giving you those snippets of the past with Bill and the bride. You get to see the stuff that happened that led up to the massacre at her wedding. So I like how it fleshes out the world. It fleshes out the story. But again, a lot of this stuff I don't really feel like enhances the first film. Again, I feel like I can watch the first film and just feel completely satisfied because that ending is so great with Orenishi. Like, this kind of feels like, to me, almost like an epilogue. Like, it's stuff that's cool that you're getting it. And yes, you did want that conclusion with Bill. That's what the freaking movie's called. It's called Kill Bill. But again, you didn't want it in the way that they necessarily gave it to you. But everything else other than that in this movie just feels like it's just kind of unnecessary. Like, you don't really need all these pieces that they're giving you. It just feels like they're fleshing it out a little bit more. They're giving you more context for everything. That's not to say I still don't think it's a really good movie. I still enjoy a lot of things about this movie. I think it's very well directed. The cinematography is great. The performances are great. Like I said, the training stuff is probably my favorite part of this movie. I think all that stuff is fantastic. And I like some of the stuff with Michael Madsen in the beginning and the strip club and all that stuff. I think that that's pretty fun. I honestly think that I wish Michael Madsen was in the movie just a little bit more, because like I think he brings like a really fun energy to the movie. But, is what it is. I like the film, but rewatching it, it really highlighted to me that I didn't even like it as much as I thought I did. Again, it's probably my least favorite Tarantino film, whereas the first Kill Bill is in the running for my favorite Tarantino film. Now let's get into the 4K, guys. I know that's why you're here. That's why you're watching the video. Just like Volume 1, this is another upscaled 4K with Dolby Vision HDR10, but I tried to explain this the best that I could. Again, I'm not a technical professional expert when it comes to all this stuff, but from my understanding, the Kill Bill movies, they were shot on film, they were shot on Super 35, and they were finished in a digital 2K intermediate. So from my understanding, those are very difficult to go back and do native 4Ks of. And in a lot of cases, they can fundamentally change the look of the film. So Lionsgate did not choose to do that. And I honestly think that Tarantino had a hand in that as well. I don't think that he wanted to do a native 4K for these. So they just went ahead and did the upscale to 4K. And if they would have done that native 4K, it would have probably been extremely expensive. That could have been a factor as well. But also, like, I really think it has more to do with Tarantino than anything. But I know that's a big controversy with these releases and Inglourious Basterds, which I reviewed from Arrow Video. The fact that they are upscaling them to 4K and they're not native 4K restorations. But if you look at a lot of films that came out around this time period that have 4Ks, most of them are upscales to 4K. So this is nothing really unheard of. Now, as far as how Kill Bill Volume 2 like actually looks, I do think there's an increase in picture quality over that Blu-ray. I think overall, it's a much nicer image like throughout than Volume 1. I think it just has a much more like consistent image throughout. It's got really good detail. Like, I noticed the detail when you were in the trailer, you had the Daryl Hannah trailer park fight sequence, or the trailer fight sequence, and they zoom in on her face, they zoom in on Uma Thurman's face, and you can see such incredible detail there. So in those sequences, I can see a lot of detail. But this movie, unlike the first one, doesn't have that like big epic, like flashy sequence at the end to really kind of hang its hat on and really showcase the capabilities of the 4K. So you come away from this on 4K just being like, that was decent. That was a decent 4K upgrade, but did I really need this one in 4K? Was it that much of a substantial jump in picture quality to warrant paying $40, $30 to upgrade this to 4K? And for that, guys, look, I'm trying to give you like my honest thoughts here on this 4K, but at the end of the day, like, you can only like take what I had to say and judge for yourself. Is it worth it for you or not? And I don't think the picture quality jump here is necessarily worth this upgrade. Now, there's going to be people that get this steelbook because it's a cool steelbook for Kill Bill Volume 2 and you love the movie and you want this cool collectible steelbook. And I completely understand that. But as far as you people out there that are wanting this massive upgrade from the Blu-ray of Kill Bill Volume 2 or Volume 1 to the 4K, you're just not going to get it with these releases. And that is a little bit disappointing. But again, it's a nice picture. Like, it does look good. It is, you know, very detailed. You can definitely tell that higher resolution. It is running at about 70 to 75 megabits per second. It's on a 100 gigabyte disc. So I feel like Lionsgate, you know, they're trying to give this all the advantages that they possibly can, again, without going back and doing that native 4K restoration that everybody wants them to do. You know, so overall, it's a nice picture image. Like, it's good picture quality, but again, it just doesn't have that, like, big standout moment that really showcases, like, what it can do. The HDR, the Dolby Vision, all that stuff looks great. It's enhancing those colors. It's making things more vibrant, more beautiful. You know, the Blu-ray, like I said, it looks good. The Blu-ray still looks really good, but the colors are a little bit more flat on that Blu-ray. Again, there's just not as much detail. There's not as much depth. You know, things just don't feel like they have the same level of weight on that Blu-ray. That's why I like the 4K so much. That's why I like 4K picture quality usually over Blu-ray, is because of the weight and the denseness that it can add to some of these images and the picture quality. So, you know, this has that, but again, it just doesn't have that substantially over that Blu-ray. It's not like Jackie Brown. Like, Jackie Brown was like night and day, you know, comparing that to the Blu-ray. Kill Bill Volume 1 and Kill Bill Volume 2 is not like that. I wish I could report something different, but it's just not like that. Getting into the sound, guys, this is a DTS HD Master Audio 5.1. Same sound that was in Kill Bill Volume 2, the Blu-ray, so no audio upgrade here. And again, honestly, like, I just don't think that they needed an audio upgrade. It's good for what it is. You know, the sound's good. Everything sounded good, in my opinion. And for the record, guys, I've got all my equipment down below in the description, guys. I put that down there like a couple of weeks ago. But I'm listening to this on a soundbar with a subwoofer that kind of simulates that 5.1 and that Dolby Atmos. So that's what I'm listening to this on. I've also got an OLED TV, a 65-inch C2, if you want to know what I'm watching this, what I'm viewing this on. Again, all that information is down below in the description. Now, let's get into the unboxing of Kill Bill Volume 2. And I have to say, guys, like, look at that back, guys. That really pops right there. I have to say, I think I like this steelbook a little bit more than Volume 1. I just like the colors in this one. I think the orange and the reds just pop a little bit more than that pink and yellow aesthetic of the first one. But really cool cover right here. And again, not trying to spoil things, but let me take this out of the slipcover real quick. And you'll see that when you take it out, what it does to Daryl Hannah's eye. You can see that come out right there, which is pretty cool. And you have the actual eyeball on the plastic steelbook slipcover right there. So that's a cool touch. And again, that's kind of a spoiler for the film, but, you know, look at that. You got Kill Bill Volume 2 on the side. You got a nice image of David Carradine on the back, Michael Madsen, Pai Ming on the back as well, which is pretty cool. Beautiful steelbook, though. I think this one's a little bit better. Like, I understand some people complaining about that Kill Bill Volume 1 steelbook, but this one is actually really beautiful, like with the blood splatters and all that stuff. I think this is a good one. There is a digital code in here. There is a 4K and also a Blu-ray in here as well. So this is the same Blu-ray that Lionsgate put out a number of years ago. They didn't do anything new to the Blu-ray. It's not an upgrade or anything like that. It's not a 4K scan on the Blu-ray, but I'll take the discs out, show you that. That's the 4K disc. And you actually have a little bit different artwork on the Blu-ray, if I can get that out of here, guys. So bam, right there. And then I'll show you the interior artwork right there. Very cool. And like I said, guys, I love the training sequences and stuff in this movie. That is honestly, like, that's the best part. Now, getting into the features, guys, same thing with Volume 1. Nothing new here. Same thing with Jackie Brown. Nothing new. There's a making of Kill Bill Volume 2. There's some deleted scenes. There's also a musical performance as well. I think like a music video or something like that. But there's nothing new here in terms of special features, which again is disappointing, especially, you know, if Lionsgate wants this to be some kind of like premium boutique, you know, style release from their website. They really need to work on getting new features on all of these releases and not relying on past features, especially if they're for features from back in the DVD era. So that's it, guys. Let's close the book on the Quentin Tarantino 4Ks. I do think by the end of the year, we will reopen the book on the Quentin Tarantino 4K, because I am anticipating that Django and The Hateful Eight will be coming out on 4K from Lionsgate before the end of the year, and we'll get nice steelbooks for those as well. So we'll be able to talk about those later this year, which I am extremely excited about because I love both of those films so much. So excited to talk about those. But for right now, we're closing the book on the Tarantino 4Ks. And I hate to say it, guys, but Volume 1 and Volume 2 Kill Bill movies, a little bit disappointed. I am a little bit disappointed in these releases. I gotta be honest. Jackie Brown, fantastic. Like, if you're going to get one of these 4Ks, you get Jackie Brown. Go check out my review if you didn't check that out already. But the Kill Bill movies, a little bit disappointing. I love the movies, but a little bit disappointed as far as the 4K picture quality, and also, again, the lack of special features. But thank you all so much for watching. I will link this down below if you're still interested in getting it. It is a nice steelbook. I like this steelbook, and like I said, it's a jump in picture quality. It's just not the jump that we all wanted. But thanks again for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on bell notifications for all future videos, and we'll see you next time.